It is my honor to introduce the keynote speaker. First of all, my name is Manisha Bewtra. I am our co-chair of the Know Your Rights Committee for the South Asian Bar Association of Greater Boston. And it's my pleasure to introduce Manisha Bewtra. Manisha is a city councilor at large in Melrose, Massachusetts, where she became the first person of color ever elected to serve on the for the city of Melrose in November 2017. She recently launched her candidacy for mayor of the city of Melrose. During her tenure as city councilor, Manisha's done many things, so I had to cut down her bio a little bit. But she's applied her expertise in city planning to the variety of issues that come before the city council. She's a champion of Melrose's "One Community Open to All" motto, and prior to her service as the city councilor, served as vice chair of the Melrose Human Rights Commission. Manisha has previously worked at the Massachusetts Housing Partnership and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. She is a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Iowa, where she majored in economics and art, and her Master's of City Planning degree from the University of Pennsylvania. With that, I turn it over to our keynote speaker, Manisha Bewtra.
Thank you for that introduction. And I was just noting with Manisha, it's funny to be in a room with another Manisha with a last name that starts with B, and very cool as well. I have some prepared remarks, but I just wanted to acknowledge, I'm wondering how many of you have been in this building before tonight, and a bunch, it looks like the first time. Tonight, I've been near this building, it's the first time I've been inside, and when I came in with my team today, I was struck with this feeling of how awe-inspiring the architecture is, but also how it's made to make you feel small. And I think this program is awesome because I think that power of understanding your rights and knowing your rights and how that translates to that this is your institution, this is your law, and you can use your resources to support you as a resident in this country is really powerful. So thank you for having this program. I think it's incredible, and it's very important that I think we all can brush up on understanding what our rights and responsibilities are. Thanks for inviting me here today. Congratulations to all the graduates of the program. Again, my name is Manisha Bewtra, and I'm a city councilor at large and a candidate for mayor in Melrose, Massachusetts, which is a small city at the end of the Oak Grove and on the Oak Grove end of the Orange Line, not too far away. Tonight, I want us to reflect on history and our surroundings and think about the power of our identities and personal stories, and leave here empowered to take action in our communities, locally and vocally. This land has a long and complex history, and that complexity continues today. We are on the tribal land of the Massachusetts people, whose history on this land predates European colonization by thousands of years. I have a lot more to learn about the indigenous peoples of this land, both their often hidden histories and their present-day experiences. The complexity and also violence of this history is often hidden in plain sight in the ground we walk on every day and in the symbols we use, such as the state flag of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I wanted to start with this acknowledgement of what came before this history, so obviously present around us in the architecture. I wanted to start with the acknowledgement of what came before the history, but also acknowledge the presence of what's around us with the magnificent architecture of this great building. So let's layer on some more history. This building was built in 1894, and this social law library is the oldest law library in the nation. The bronze statue in the Great Hall, so if you probably entered through security, if you go up the stairs on your way out from that entrance, there's a Great Hall. The bronze statue in the Great Hall is of Rufus Choate, an attorney who served in both branches of the State House as a legislator, then as the 10th Massachusetts Attorney General, then as a U.S. Congressman, and then as a senator. He was also a member of the Massachusetts Constitutional Convention of 1853. So no doubt, some of his imprint on our state and federal law lives on today. Though I'll admit I didn't know about him before tonight. What I did know is about the sculptor, Daniel Chester French, who is the sculptor of the famed Abraham Lincoln statue at the center of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. I'm an art history buff, so I need to mention that one of my degrees is in art. So I knew about Daniel Chester French, but I've got a lot more to learn when it comes to the law and legal history. Besides the land and the building, the land we're on and the building we're in, also on my mind are the time of year and what this time of year signifies. June is the month when we celebrate the end of slavery in the United States. On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the Civil War had ended and the enslaved were now free, a full 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation speech in 1863. June 19th is now celebrated as Juneteenth, an annual celebration of African American history and culture. June 1st kicked off Pride Month, and Eid, the culmination of Ramadan, begins tomorrow. Around the city of Boston, you may have seen rainbow flags pop up over the last few days. There is the annual Pride Parade coming up on Saturday. We often talk about Pride as a celebration of love and a celebration of LGBTQIA+ diversity. It's definitely a celebration of love and diversity, absolutely. But it's also important for us to recognize, again, the history and ongoing present-day struggle for love, acceptance, and equal rights under the law that Pride is rooted in. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. On June 28, 1969, New York City police officers raided the then largest gay bar in the country, known as Stonewall Inn. This raid sparked riots, which are regarded as the beginning of the modern-day gay rights movement. The first LGBTQIA+ Pride March was a year later, commemorating the events at Stonewall Inn. This year, 2 transgender women of color who were drag performers in Greenwich Village and key figures in the uprising, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, will be honored with a monument in New York City. I began Pride Month with a local celebration, where 2 Melrose residents have started a movement right inside their home. They host fundraiser concerts featuring local artists from various social justice organizations under the name Salon on South. You can check them out on Facebook. On Saturday night, I spent the evening among friends and neighbors hearing heartwarming and heart-wrenching songs and personal stories about coming out and queer culture. They were raising money for the Trevor Project, a national organization that provides crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people under age 25. The Salon on South's mission to build community and make change right at home resonates with me deeply. Today is also the last day of fasting, praying, and acts of charity and giving for Muslims observing Ramadan. And tomorrow is the beginning of Eid. Eid Mubarak for all those in the audience who may be celebrating tomorrow, as well as those who are unable to attend today as they've been observing the holy month. Over the last few years, I've learned more about Ramadan through friendships with Muslim friends and by coming together for a community iftar to break the fast in Melrose, something we've been doing for the past 4 years. Our iftar and pride celebrations in Melrose were started by Melrose residents who got involved in their local government through our Human Rights Commission. This past year, the same group held a well-attended Diwali celebration, and I got to be the keynote speaker for that. Celebrations are a way to demystify each other's cultural experiences and identities, and I'm proud that we've made space for them in my city. I want to challenge each of you to think about your own identity and what challenges are associated with it, but also what powers and privileges it comes with. I'm an Indian American woman who grew up in Iowa. I have never felt poor. My parents are immigrants. I'm cisgender and heterosexual, married, and I have 1 child. I'm Hindu. Beyond my credentials, each of these identities I carry are laden with meaning, with assumptions others make, and with my own personal history. With the identities I carry, sometimes I feel hyper-visible and other times invisible. Sometimes that frustrates me, and other times I know these realities are my superpowers. If you're wondering where to get started after this course, I highly recommend getting involved in your city or town, meaning your local government. I have lived in Melrose for 6 years. I got involved in my local community through my work as a city planner initially, and subsequently by getting appointed to our Human Rights Commission. The Human Rights Commission is a part of our local government. Your community may have one, and also has a variety of other boards and commissions to get involved in. You can begin by attending events, making inquiries, and building relationships, and before you know it, you'll be very plugged into your city or town governance. If you're not already, serving on the commission gave me insight into our community and further motivated my run for office, where I'm serving as a city councilor and have served since the beginning of last year, and now I'm running for mayor. Whatever your goals, they are attainable. Whatever cause you're interested in advancing, there is a local element where you can make a difference right in your own community. Here are 5 things I've learned over the last few years. Number 1, symbols matter, whether it's putting up a rainbow pride flag or changing the Massachusetts state flag. Number 2, words are important. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Yes, LGBTQIA+ equality and justice are critical. And yes, we must combat Islamophobia. Number 3, reach out. Perhaps you took this course because you're concerned about ICE raids, or gun violence, or families being separated at the border, or the deluge of hateful rhetoric delivered in 140 characters at 3 a.m. There is always so much news to process with our current events. Each of these incidents affects us deeply and may affect our friends and acquaintances even more personally. Check on your friends. Number 4, diversify your circle. If you don't know people with a certain profile, or at least don't know them well enough to combat your stereotypes, reservations, or fears, get to know them. Once you get to know people who are different from you, you find out just how much you have in common. And 5, take action. Do all of the above. And also educate yourself, vote if you're able to, get involved in a political campaign, hint, hint, or a local ballot initiative. Speak up, stand up to bigotry, and spread messages of inclusion and love. I am so grateful to all of you. If not for the fact that I have a city council budget hearing tonight that I need to run to, I would have asked for a few extra minutes to go around the room so we can do introductions as a group. I did get a chance to speak with many of you before we started, but I think it's important that we get to know each other and that we start taking action on our to-do list right here. My charge to you before leaving is that you please do that. Please get to know each other, talk to new folks, and forge a path to make change, as I said at the start, locally and vocally.